Hello. We're going to have a lesson today. It's a good story, actually. I love telling stories. I love to hear stories. And this is an old one about mice. Do you know what mice are? What a mouse is? A mouse is one. Mice means more than one. Two mice, three mice, four mice, 10 mice, one mouse. And I know in my house, once in a while, I'll have a mouse. Not very often. And I don't like it when they're there because they nibble on my food. Do you ever have a mouse outside your house or even inside your house? Sometimes you see them in the street. Sometimes an eagle or a hawk is looking for a mouse to eat. But anyway, this is about mice. This is about a story about two mice. And we're going to tell a story about a mouse that lives in the country and a mouse that lives in the city. I'm looking at the lights here. But do you know what the country is? The country is an amazing place outside of the city. It's a place where there are open spaces, not many buildings in the country. Maybe just a few, because farmers live in the country. There might be fields where they plant crops. And then out farther past those, there's the wild part of the country. There could be tigers. There could be monkeys that live in the country. In China, there could be a leopard, right? And if you go all the way in the country, all the way out to the ocean, there might be a whale or something like that living in the water. So the country is an amazing place where amazing animals live. And the country animals will surprise us if we go looking. We will suddenly see something we've never seen before. One thing that a poet by the name of Mary Oliver, she's an American poet, she writes about the country. She told me one time that if you go out into the country where the animals are, and if you sit down, and if you sit very still for 15 minutes, after 15 minutes, the animals are no longer afraid of you. Either they ignore you, or they don't care, they don't think that you're dangerous, or they just don't notice you anymore. And if you sit there for a long time, the animals might come right near you. That's what she does to write her poems. Amazing. The country is a magical place. So this story starts out in the country. This story is called The Country Mouse and the City Mouse. Now, what about the word city? Do you know what the city is? Maybe you live in the city. Do you live in the city? The city is where there are many, 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 many buildings. Many people live in the city. It's where a lot of people and buildings are, like a huge town, the city. Yeah. So this is about two mice. It's called the country mouse and the city mouse. And I want you to really see these pictures. So I'm going to make my face smaller now. And we are going to tell the story of the country mouse and the city mouse. Once upon a time, this was a time with no clocks. This was a time before now. This was a time when there was sunshine in the day and the moon was out at night. And that's all the people knew. It was a time like that there was a mouse, a little mouse, living out in the country, away from all the buildings and away from the cars, the buses. I shouldn't say that she was away from all the buildings because she did live at a farmer's house. And you can see her. This is her right here. Can you see her? She has a purple hat on. She has a smile on her face. She knew her mother had told her that she had a cousin that lived in the city. And so she decided to send for her cousin and just to ask, would you like to come and visit me? And her cousin, the city mouse, that's this guy right here. The city mouse said yes. And the city mouse came to visit the country mouse. And when he arrived, he was surprised at how quiet it was. He didn't look very happy about it. And the country mouse brought him some simple food that she liked so much. A couple of nuts, a little bit of cheese, some berries. And she sat on the porch and she gave him a chair where he could sit on the porch with her out in the country where it was so quiet. And look at the stars are shining. Look at how happy the country mouse is. Wait a minute. What about this guy? He does not look happy. This is happy. He looks like this. He looks not so happy. Well, eventually she said, "Oh, City Mouse, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad that we can eat on the porch together. Do you like the country? You said you've never been to the country. Do you like it? Do you like it here where I live?" And he said, "No, I don't really like it. It's boring. I'm bored. It's too quiet here. And this food, ugh, it's just plain." And then he started to talk. The city mouse said, "You should really come and visit me. You should really come. You won't believe. It's so busy in the city, and the cars are honking, and it's exciting, and there are lots of colors, and then you should come to the house where I live, and in the house where I live you should taste the foods. It is amazing, so much more tasty than you have here." Well, the country mouse listened to him, and she thought about the word bored. He said he was bored. Now let me show you these words. First of all, there's the word, come on now, country mouse. I kind of think we should change this to white. Might be nicer, huh? There's the country mouse. And then the word city with a C. City. Sometimes a C is k, but we don't say kitty, not for the city. This is city and mouse. The city mouse. Yeah. And finally, we have the word, because the city mouse was bored, B-O-R-E-D, bored. Just to be not interested. And the country mouse was thinking about this word bored. He said he was bored. He didn't like the country. How strange, she thought. And then she thought, I am interested. And she was thinking, now I'm going to ask you, listening to this story, do you think that the country mouse, do you think that she'll go? The city mouse has invited her. Do you think she'll go to the city? Think about that. And when she goes, what do you think that she'll want to do there if she goes? And if she goes, how do you think she'll get there? Those are good questions. Well, we're going to move on with our story. This next one is going to tell you what happened, because you see, this country mouse, she did decide to go, and she decided to go right away. She packed a little bag. She put a few nuts in there and some cheeses and some fruit, and they were off, and they ran along the side of the road, and they looked up to make sure there were no hawks looking at them, and they started to get closer and closer and closer to the city. Whoa, she had never been to this city. And as they were running to the city, her cousin, the city mouse, was saying, "You won't believe the food. Do you remember what I told you about the food?" And they stopped and they talked again along the side of the road. And the city mouse said, "There are cakes, there are hams, there's salads, there are strawberries. You're not going to believe the kinds of things that you're going to have." And she was getting more and more excited and closer to the city. Well, they came into the city, and she couldn't believe how loud it was. In fact, it was too loud for her. The country mouse had to cover her ears sometimes. The cars were honking all the time. People were calling to each other. People were walking really fast. And she could not even see the sky once they got into the city. She could only see brick buildings and wood buildings and brick buildings and metal buildings. And then she could hear cars going by, and she had to be careful not to get run over by a car. Wasn't sure. It was scary to her. Well, eventually they made it to the house where the city mouse lives. And finally they made it inside, and finally things were more quiet, and finally they could breathe a little bit. And the country mouse was so excited and also kind of nervous. And she just sat there breathing. And the city mouse said, come with me right now." And the city mouse brought her up on the kitchen table. Up on the kitchen table. And it was there that she learned a word. She learned this word. Can you say it? Feast. There was a huge feast of foods like she had never, ever seen. There were berries over here, some strawberries. There was a huge chocolate cake. She had never seen one that big. There was cheese. There was this turkey. There was butter. Oh my gosh! There was some sweet porridge here. Oh my gosh. She was excited, and she started to taste each and everything, and she started to jump around, and she was so excited. Oh my gosh. It was what was it? A feast. A total feast. A feast is really when there's a lot of food, more than you can ever imagine. And sometimes we have a feast when there's a special time, like a birthday party could have a feast. In the United States of America, we have Thanksgiving, and we have a feast, a special feast at Thanksgiving. Well, somebody had just had a feast at this table, and the city mouse had said, "Let's go up there," and they hadn't cleaned it up yet, and the people were gone, and they ate, and they ate, and they ate, and then ate, and they ate, and they weren't paying attention to what was going on, when suddenly, can you see over here? Can you see somebody coming this right over here? Oh my gosh, this is the mouse's biggest nightmare. And she is so happy right here. She is not paying attention at all. And he is not paying attention. He's so proud. They want to eat some cake over here. They want to eat some jam over here. And they are having a feast, but they don't know about the danger. And suddenly, just like that, the cat pounced up on the table. And that was the moment when the city mouse grabbed the country mouse's hand and said, "Quick, quick." And they ran. They scurried away. Did you hear that? They scurried away. scurried away. That means that they used their little toenails and they were gone fast. They scurried away. Luckily, they were fast enough that the city mouse knew about the cat, and he was always had one ear open. Luckily, he grabbed the hand of the country mouse. Luckily, they both made it back to the mouse's house, down the hole in the wall. Well, let's go look at that house. I think there's a picture of that house. Oh boy, look at that. There they are. He's telling her, wait, wait with me. Now look at her face. This is she is so scared. Look at her. Look at her face. She is so scared. And he doesn't look so scared. He is saying to her, listen, country mouse, this is how it is in the city. That cat is always around, but I know when he's coming and I get out of there. And now we're safe. Can you see the cat over here? Look at that. Oh my gosh, the cat. No wonder she's scared. No wonder she's scared. The cat is still looking in. The cat is still looking at them, but it can't make it in there. But she is so scared. Oh my gosh. He says, just wait a while. Pretty soon the cat will be gone and we'll go back out there and we'll eat some more. Wasn't it good? The country mouse said this very clearly. Listen, my cousin, you can stay here, but when that cat is gone, I am going to go home to the country. And as soon as the cat was gone, the city mouse went up on the table and the country mouse ran out the door and kept running down the street and out to the edge of the city and out under the starlight into the country, and she kept running until she was home. And then she could breathe easily. And she said to herself, I don't care if the city mouse gets bored out here. I don't care if they have nice food back there. I like the country. It's safe here. And it's quiet here. So there she lived. And she lived there all her days for a long life. And she lived happily ever after out in the country. So let's look. That's the end of that story. Let's talk about our words again. The words that we learned. We learned this word, country. Maybe you know country music. That's something in the United States. Country music is the music that comes from out in those open areas. Cowboys live in the country. Country. There's also the word city. There's also the word mouse. There's also the word bored. He was bored, wasn't he? Not interested. There's also the word feast. And there's also the word scurried. They scurried away. They scurried away. Let's look at those as we look through the pictures again. This is him saying, well, we're going to go back out there. Don't worry. It's going to be fine. The cat will be gone. And she's saying, nope. Let me show you another picture. Here we are. Oh, remember this picture? What's happening? Uh-oh. Yahoo! I think this ear right here, this is the ear. This is the ear right here that the city mouse keeps open, listening for this guy. Always listening, to be very careful. Yeah. This is the part that is the feast. isn't it? That's the feast. Yep. Let's go back again. Now here they are. They're under the stars. They're still out in the country. And he's telling how great it is in the city. He's bored right here. He's excited because he's telling about the city, but he's bored because he's out in the country. He doesn't really like it, but she loves it. And look, I can see why she loves it. These things are so beautiful. Have you ever been out in the country and the stars are so bright? You have to go out in the country and look up at the stars on a clear night, because they will take your breath away. Your heart will begin to sing if you see stars out in the country. Amazing. But apparently the city mouse didn't care so much about the stars. He cared about the ham. He cared about the cake. He cares about the strawberries. He cares about the porridge. He cares about the salad. He cares about this bread. And he tells her all about it. And before that, the first part of the story, she invited her cousin out into the country. And here's the city mouse right here. He definitely look at his eyes. He definitely looks bored, that guy right there. He's bored. Look at his eyes. No, whatever. I don't know, whatever. Whatever you're saying, I don't get it. I'm bored. Look at her. She is happy. She's not bored. She's happy. Look at how happy. She loves the city. She loves the stars. There are the stars again. And before this part, what happened? At the very beginning of the story, can you remember? When it was only the country. It was just her, wasn't it? And she was there and she was thinking about her cousin, the city mouse, and if she should invite him out to the country to see how beautiful it was. Well, she did it, but he didn't get it, did he? And the whole adventure began. I think this is the road right here that they took into the city. You can see the lights of the city maybe way over there. So that's the story of the country mouse and the city mouse. And here are the words: country, city, mouse, bored, feast, scurried, right? And if there's one mouse, it's just called a mouse, isn't it? But if there are two mice, they're called mice, and that's how it's spelled, just like that. So one mouse, two mice, also three mice or four mice, right? I'm going to say that this one over here, out in the country, is happy. Yep, happy. She's happy. He's bored out in the country. They are both mice, aren't they? They're both mice, two mice. So that's the story of the country mouse and the city mouse. I love that one. Thanks for talking today and listening to the story. And I hope that you get a chance, if you live in the city, I hope you get a chance to go out into the country many, many times to see what's out there, all the animals. You have fox out there. Maybe it's far away, but there are fox in China. And there are also eagles. And there are also something called a mongoose. Do you know what a mongoose is? Oh, and my favorite, there are some otters in China. That's one of my favorite animals in the whole world. They're really fun. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Animals are beautiful. I hope if you live in the city that you can go out into the country many times. And I hope if you live in the country that you will visit the city many times to see what that is like. It's good to know. Okay, until I see you next time, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope you have a good life and that you can adventure around and to see new things. This is Timothy saying goodbye.